Well, hello there. I am so happy to be here with you for this partner spotlight. If you are joining us live, which I hope you are, please feel free to join us in the chat wherever you're watching us. Producer Evan will make sure that we get to see those chats and your questions, and just share some love. Always show some emotion. If we haven't met before, my name is Joshua Harrell. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer over at WorldVia Travel Network, and one of my duties is getting to host our partner spotlights, where we bring really those extra special partners that give you a competitive edge in your business. And this partner spotlight has been in the making for months. I ran into my guest in Jamaica, and I said, "Oh, I need you to be on a partner spotlight." And he said, "I will." And then we just had to coordinate schedules, and that became more of a challenge, partly my fault. So without further ado, I am going to bring on the president of Vacation Express, Rene Jongmans. Hello.
Hello. Great to be here.
You're
Excited.
welcome to the Sequin Palace. This is
I know, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, love it. Love it. So happy to be here.
So happy to have you here. And like I said, you were right on it. You wanted to be a part of this, and right when we got together in Jamaica, and so to me, this is just a cool closing of the loop.
It is, and it's great to be here in your office,
Yes.
close to my place, which is good. We're only 30 minutes apart, so
Yeah.
that worked out great, and nice to be here.
Yeah, no, we're going to dive into Vacation Express, and in particular, with Rene. He's been in the industry for a long time. He is not just a savvy leader and business person, but he is a lover of travel. And it's something that he's extremely passionate about. So we're going to tuck into travel. We're going to talk about Vacation Express and all the things that Vacation Express can give you when you partner with them. And I know many of our members are already using Vacation Express, and I want to, if you are watching this right now, I would love for you to share some of those stories in the chat so we can share those with Rene and share them with the rest of the audience. So just drop that in, and producer Evan, you're there. We don't have sound effects today. No, he doesn't. He's not doing sound effects, guys. I think he got put off of it. So we're gonna have to rev him back up about that. So he will bring those chats in. But Rene, but while we're waiting on people to share some stories,
Yes.
tell us.
What do you want to know?
Yeah, tell us about Vacation Express. How did it get started, and where your journey with them? Share a little bit about that story.
It's been 35 years, believe it or not. It's like once you're in this industry, you love it. You're not going to go anywhere. And
That's true.
yeah, we just started out with a very small company. And I think that's the nice story. Just two people who started it, late 80s. And from there, we just started growing and growing. And I've been with the company now, I always have to think, but probably good to 32, 33 years. So
Wow.
yeah, it's been a great story. And president and CEO for 25 years now. And that's just a great story. And I still love it every single day. So
Yeah.
that's the good thing about it. Yeah.
Now, you guys specialize in the all-inclusive packages, Mexico, Caribbean, Costa Rica.
Yeah, a little bit more of Central America, right? We're doing some Belize, Panama. We have some properties there as well. And then we ventured out a little bit more exotic to Dubai, Zanzibar, Maldives, some other areas. But yeah, that is really our core. Caribbean, Mexico, Central America is where we really focus on.
Yeah. And the thing that strikes me about Vacation Express, I mean, there's loads of partners that advisors can work with, but with Vacation Express, there is a theme, a through line of this community of your team supporting advisors all throughout their business and in various different stages. Tell me a little bit about how that got started. Because there's companies all over that are servicing advisors, but you guys, that is the thing. The advisor support is the number one thing we hear.
Yeah. I think it goes back a little bit to our history. When you start out as a small company, you simply have to work harder, and you compete with so many people in the industry. So I kind of feel it's always been in our DNA, to provide that support, to be that company that's there to really be there for agents. And I would say in the past 10 years, because of companies like yours, when we have seen a huge shift in agents doing this more as a second job and home-based, we really fully adapted our business to that. And so listen, all these people are entrepreneurs, right? I mean, and to be an entrepreneur, which again goes back to when we started a company as well, is not easy. And we just want to make sure that we are that partner in every aspect, right? In every sense of the way, how do we support them? And we did fully adapt our organization to that. And yeah, we will. I don't see that we will ever lose that, because it's the relationships that we build, it's the support that we provide. Yeah, and really share those personal success stories.
I love that you shared that about the company, an entrepreneurial journey, because we talk about that all the time with our members. It is, just having a business, that makes you an entrepreneur, but there's an entrepreneur spirit that not everybody has that. So it's something that is I think it just being an entrepreneur, it's a part of you.
It's part of it,
and you make those kinds of adjustments, right?
Absolutely.
And when you guys are thinking about who you are working with, someone who has adapted their business based on the business needs is, I mean, that's right in line with you, right? That's how you operate your business. So what I have heard over and over again from advisors working with your company is the sense of community support, and like I was saying earlier, meeting them where they're at. You have a great groups program where you really guide people through the process, and because groups can be complicated. And I've been able to meet some of your team members, and I'm like, oh, you guys are experts in this. Like,
you know now how to book a group.
Well, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Oh, let's see. Hannah said, I love VE. I am so happy this is happening. I hope more WorldVia agents. Oops, I just lost it.
Oh my gosh, Hannah, I didn't know you were part of this. You're a fantastic agent.
Yes,
we love you.
There we go.
You're doing amazing.
She wants more of our agents to book with you guys. The BDMs are so helpful too. Shout out to Luciana. Luciana or Luciana?
Yeah, Luciana. That's one of our great BDMs and supporters. But thank you, Hannah. I mean, I know you rock. So yes, congratulations.
That's awesome. Yeah. So they're going to be chiming in here. Oh yeah, the chat is popping. So we'll get to your comments.
Let's see what comes in.
Okay. Yeah, come on. Let's go over there.
Let's just see what comes up.
Yeah. Let's see. Producer Evan is going through and checking. Let's see. Curtis, I haven't used VE, so I'm excited to learn more about them. Curtis, welcome.
Good. Welcome.
And Curtis, meet Rene.
Nice to meet you.
Beverly said, love Vacation Express.
Thanks, Beverly.
And Beverly's been in the industry for a long time.
Oh, well, that's good.
Guys, if you're tuning in, you're seeing the love for Vacation Express. Velma, we're looking forward to Rene's thoughts on growing groups business. And just a little hint, Velma is a part of WorldVia, and she also runs our groups program. So I felt like that was her putting her little Velma stamp on this. She's going to make sure that we get to it. And
we will talk about that. No worries.
We're definitely going to talk about it. And Jeff joining us. Hello, all. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Jeff is joining us from Texas. All right, we'll come back to the comments. So let's talk a little bit about the type of properties that you guys focus on.
Right.
When I get to hear you speak, and you were talking about how you guys go on the hunt for inventory and the things that you're looking for. And I would love for you to speak a little bit about what you're looking for and your team is looking for when you're looking for inventory.
I think when it comes to our destinations, right, it's primarily all inclusive, right? That's the main thing that we sell. And today's environment, there's so many of these big companies adding new properties all the time. And on one hand, you have to add them because they're part of these big corporations. On the other hand, we still want to be careful and mindful, because once you start adding so many properties, it also gets more complex for agents to pick the right properties. But so, general, the growth is really in that industry. It's all-inclusive resorts that are growing. But, we certainly also want to look for, in other destinations, you have like smaller boutique properties, right? Like Belize, Costa Rica, some others. So it's finding that right balance between, smaller properties that are not all-inclusive, larger properties, also the luxury boutique properties. So you kind of want to find that good range. But at the end of the day, in a company like ours, we still have to make sure that we add products that we know agents are going to sell,
Right.
right? Because just nowadays to add hotels and create the content and so many things that come with it, if we are, in our case, too specific and too niche, and we sell a hotel a few times a year, it's not worth it. So it's always finding that balance,
Right.
because at the end of the day, agents want everything, right? Oh, we want this hotel and that hotel, but then are you really going to sell it? So yeah.
No, that's a really good point. I think everyone is always looking for unique experiences, and so they're searching for all these different properties. But to your point, you can find all these individual properties, but if you have not experienced them yourself, if you don't know someone who's experienced them themselves, it's something where looking at what your experience and what you guys are looking for, it helps to narrow things down a little bit and give a more consistent experience, I
For
guess.
sure, absolutely, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Now, where is your favorite place to go? I know this is a tough question, but I would say more like, I know that there's things that are trending. We're going to talk about trending destinations, but you've been doing this for a very long time. So where is the place that you constantly like to go back to? What is your favorite?
I'd love to explore, right? And I think once you're in this industry, and I'm sure it's the same for you, you kind of have that travel bug, right? And you want to go places. And for me, it's like going places that are different, right? That not everyone may have heard about. And I think that's exciting, because it's also something that, I can share with travel agents, not even because we sell it, but because it's fun. And so, I would say the last few years, I've been going more to the Middle East. And, that's something that I really enjoy. The culture, the people, we have all these preconceived notions, or some of us, about what certain areas are.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I find whatever destination you go to, people are nice. People are so friendly. I've traveled quite a bit to the Middle East. I mean, most people know Dubai, of course. It's quite often the number one. But love traveling to Jordan, Oman. Last year I went to Saudi Arabia for the first time, and I posted a lot about that in our Facebook group, and agents loved it. So those are different experiences. But I also, I'm from Europe, so I'm from the Netherlands. So I just spent 5 weeks in the Netherlands working remotely. Yes, I worked. But that's fun.
You did, because I had a meeting with you.
I know, right?
I was like, where are you? And he said,
I'm in my
Netherlands.
hometown. So different places, different times. But I like the little bit off the beaten path experiences and meeting people from around the world and different people and different cultures. That really excites me. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, throughout the show, guys, Rene and his team sent over photos and videos that producer Evan's going to pop up occasionally, so you guys can witness some of his travel journeys. We didn't get anything from the Middle East, but we've got
we got some other fun things.
We got some other fun things.
We'll do that next time.
We'll do that next time. Yeah, definitely. Now, if you're tuning in right now and you're a member of WorldVia Travel Network, and you are not signed up with Vacation Express, I want you to go over to WorldVia Pro right now, and I want you to search Vacation Express, and you can find the instructions on how to register with them. And once you do, you're going to be plugged into their travel agent portal. So much information. I mean, they really do. The team does a really good job. But the reason why I wanted to hit this right now is you just mentioned your Facebook group. And out of all the partners that we get to work with, your Facebook group is popping off. Like, it's the thing.
It has a name.
I think I heard about the Facebook group before I even knew who you were. I was like, oh, this Facebook group is amazing. It is truly a community. There is direct connection between your team and all the advisors all over. And it's a fun component of your community, and I'm so glad that I get to. I am now a member of their Facebook group.
Did I approve you? Oh my gosh, what a mistake!
Yes, you did. You let me. You let me sneak in. You let me sneak in. But so make sure you get registered. Make sure you join the Facebook group. It is a huge community of very vibrant advisors.
For sure.
Lots of dialogue. But tell me a little bit about your philosophy. You and your team's philosophy on the Facebook group? Like,
Right.
why is it
Yeah,
such a
why is it?
famous aspect
I
of
know.
your program?
It became famous.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that I'm not a social media person, right? I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I never do any social media. But such a thing happened as the pandemic. And I guess one of my decisions at that point was like someone has to be the face of the company and the face of all the information in the industry. So whatever that date was in March, I decided to just launch more officially our Facebook group. And long story short, I probably spent in those days 40, 50 hours a week myself, basically being the face of the industry and teaching agents everything about what was going on. And that kind of excelled. And I didn't know the ins and outs. So if someone was pissing me off, I told them that that was not okay. But I guess you're not supposed to do that on social media. But in a way, people love that because I was real. That's just the way I am. And I'm like, no, you're not going to say this. So anyway, long story short, we just celebrated having our 50,000 threshold of group of agents. So 50,000 agents are now in our Facebook group. And to go back to your question, why is it so important? Because, ultimately, what we offer and do is so complicated, right? I mean, people think, oh, it's easy to travel, but it's not. There's all these components. So, in today's environment as well, where it is complicated, contact centers, you cannot possibly train them as good as you could have 15, 20 years ago. So the main reason for us in having that is really to have one source where you can get all the information, right? And yes, of course, we have a travel agent portal with information, but so many questions that agents can just ask there. And we have a fully dedicated team of people that know all the different areas of our company. So why not just go to one source where you can ask those questions? And it's so useful, it's so helpful. Agents share a lot of information. So there's so many layers to it, right? It's information we share and I share about our company. Agents share a lot of information about trips that they have gone on, hotels that they have seen. So it's educational, it's fun. We support each other, going back to entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we celebrate when agents said, oh my gosh, I made my first booking. Well, congratulations, you made your first booking. Or people might say, oh my gosh, I just did a group of 100 people. So yes, it is that sense of community. It is educational. It's fun. I'm definitely active in there as well, as most agents will know. But yes, it's a very different part of our business. But I've seen it become a very important part of our business. And it also shows who we are because I may not always agree with you. And if not, I'm going to tell you. So
I love that about you. Like the first time I heard you speak, you were talking about the Facebook group,
Yeah.
and you were saying that about some people can be just mean,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's saying this. But everybody, all those advisors in the room, I'm like, yes, thank you, because you're defending the community.
You have to speak up,
exactly.
right? I mean, you have to speak up, and just because something is an open platform, such as social media.
Ray said
thank
Facebook
you, Ray
group
Charles.
is top-notch resource.
Thank you.
I love it.
Just because something is an open platform, given that I didn't have any experience, right, in that social media, I'm like, no, you're not going to say that. And listen, if you want to say so, then I can say it back. So, hey, that's how I run it. And ultimately, it's a super great source for agents. We have fun. We laugh a lot as well. So it's it's very unique, and that's why we are by far the largest group of travel agents in the US. And that in itself is just an amazing achievement. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
No, I want you, because and let's be honest, guys, you're thinking like, why everybody has a Facebook group, so what, right?
Yeah.
But I get to work with so many agency owners and advisors, and working with all different partners, and we love our partners, but certain partners shine in different areas. And the thing that it seems to always be, and I go back to just being an entrepreneur and being a solopreneur, it's very lonely. And you don't, when someone says, oh, we have a great community, you don't think, I need that community. You don't know you need that community until you do.
Yeah.
And celebrating the first sale, or celebrating a group that was maybe pretty arduous in putting together, and then all of a sudden it's left, and you are like, I did this, and I can do more. I think what I've noticed being in the travel industry now for 8 years, there is a there's a thriving community
Absolutely.
within the advisor community that they do support each other. You just have to find those ways
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And the Vacation Express Facebook group, hands down, the winner when it comes to
Thank you.
that. You know, the cruise lines have their private islands that they always compete for.
Uh-huh.
I think the tour operators with the Facebook group. So Rebecca said, just joined the Facebook group. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you.
Rebecca's joining
Yeah.
us from Texas. So
Good.
fantastic.
And
We
so
got
one
people.
more thing to add to that, right? Just
Yeah,
kind of wrap
please.
it up, because it is so important, is that I would say everyone nowadays is involved in social media, right? Whether you have your own, and just to really combat the negativity a bit, right? And the negative comments. I mean, it is something that we all, I think, have to actively work on, because nothing is easier than just posting negative stuff, right? I mean, some people thrive in posting negative stuff, but also in our group, and especially in the beginning of the year, I said, guys, we need to change this, right? I mean, because there's so much positivity to share.
Mhm.
And just because, and it's really also general advice, right? If you read 10 bad comments about a hotel or a company, right, whether ours or another, it doesn't mean there's not 100 or 500 great experiences. And I think that is so important, because people don't take the time generally to post positive experience.
Mhm.
And we have seen a drastic change in our group as well after I posted that in the beginning of the year. And agents are really making that effort and say, you know what, I had a group and everything went great. Because sometimes you may just read that, oh, I had a group, but this one thing went wrong. And then agents will like, oh my gosh, this went wrong and that went wrong. So I think in general, it's just really focus on positivity, because we are in a fun industry, but we're also in a complex industry. So
Yes.
if people have to fly somewhere and stay at a hotel, and their life has been stressful, the first day is always going to be tough. So, you know, and many things can go wrong. A flight can be delayed, something can get missed, you didn't have that perfect view that you expected. So, you know, there's so much positivity, but we're also in a complex business, and we need to make sure that we add a positive message and try to keep things positive and fair, you know, and I think that's really key.
I love that, because I think when someone has a problem,
Mhm.
they're more apt to complain
Yeah.
publicly, right?
Yeah.
When things go well, you don't really hear
You
from
don't
them.
do
It's
anything. Yeah.
with your clients, with yourself, whatever. But when you are part of a community, you have to bring your whole self into those
Yeah.
situations and add value. Where can you add
Exactly.
value?
Yeah.
So it can be the highlighting positivity.
Yeah.
And then if someone is having it rough, commiserating a little bit. Oh, I had that
Yeah.
too,
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah.
But to truly be a part of a community, which I know you guys do very well, it's a give and a take, right? It's
Exactly.
not, you
Yeah.
just can't take, right?
Yeah.
But I do love that, and the you guys being a partner that truly gives advisors an edge.
Mhm.
That's a part of it, right?
Yeah,
That's
it
just
is.
one part of the story. So, Facebook group has so much support, Danielle says.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Danielle.
Yeah, forget all the destinations. Let's just talk about the Facebook group. No, I don't want to do that. But as a competitive edge, Vacation Express gives a lot of different options, a lot of again, gives the edge to advisors. But what I love, you sell a lot of destinations, but there's going to be things that kind of they start to trend,
Yeah.
things that are popular now that weren't popular before. What is popular right now? What's trending right now?
Yeah, I think it's important when it comes to our destinations. You always have the main destinations that will always be your biggest one, right? Cancun, Jamaica, Punta Cana, great all-inclusives, affordable pricing, lots of flights. So I think that's kind of the norm. But then you do see that other destinations are popping up. And for example, I think like last year, this time, maybe all of a sudden agents were saying, oh, why don't you sell Belize as a company? I'm like, oh, does anyone want to go to Belize? I'm like, I didn't know. And more agents were chiming in. So I'm like, maybe that's an opportunity there. So that's, for example, one of our newest destinations. We probably launched it maybe 6 months ago now. And yeah, just because agents were posting about it. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, a lot of people go to Belize. So that's sometimes how it starts when we add new destinations. We also, actually we added Puerto Rico. I forgot about that maybe 2-3 months ago, because agents were also asking about Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Of course, it doesn't require passports.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, those comments that come on Facebook, and if they come very consistently, but yeah, Belize is very interesting. You know, it's like I personally, haven't spent a lot of time. underwater reef, of course, in the
Really?
world. Yeah, which I didn't even know. But it's such an exciting destination that offers beach vacations, great nature, lodges inland. So a lot of great opportunities. And yeah, it's been a great seller. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I just want to point out, if you guys picked up on this, Rene and his team got feedback from advisors, added a destination, didn't
Yeah.
even think, hey, well, does anybody want to go? Right? Like, didn't
Yeah.
think anybody wanted to go. And then they added it, and look at the serendipitous journey they've been on. And I want to point that out because when you look at, there's options when you're looking for tour operators to work with. This is that, again, that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Like, how do we adapt? How do we
Yeah,
adapt to
exactly.
the changing environment? And you guys
Yeah.
do that.
And even with Puerto Rico, right? Because to me, it was always like, people will just book it on their own. They
Yeah.
don't need a company like ours. But the nice thing is that agents like, no, I want to book what Vacation Express sells. And if you don't sell it, then I don't want to promote it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so nice to hear. So with that, we do want to give agents more and more. And again, it still needs to be viable for us, right? There needs to be enough production. There's, very unique small places that I know we will never sell enough of. But
Right.
yeah, Puerto Rico has been a great seller. We expanded a lot in Costa Rica as well, which is a great destination that we've been selling for many years. But we add a lot of properties in different regions now that people love to travel to as well, and do maybe a combined stay with some beach and then something inland, or Arenal volcano or Monteverde cloud forest. So we added that as well. So yeah, we've been expanding. We've been growing.
Well, when we were in Jamaica, we were with some of your top selling advisors, and I loved listening to their stories. But there were a lot of statements like that. Like, Vacation Express is my, it's I don't want to say toolbox. That sounds awful.
It's my go-to.
It's my go-to. Yeah. It's like, and you were sharing some of the things that you were looking into at the time, and people were writing it down. They were so excited about it because they feel so comfortable in this environment, and what you guys have to offer. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I'm just highlighting these things. Those of you who already have worked with Vacation Express, you know what they deliver, but so many people haven't. And I think this is a great opportunity just to highlight some of these things that I think are really cool points of difference for your company.
Well, and I think it's normal, right? That people generally are familiar with the largest companies out there, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, everyone knows the biggest OTAs or the biggest airlines or cruise lines, but do you know that smaller cruise line maybe as well? And so for us, it's really similar. As a smaller company, and maybe the same for you, right? You're not the biggest travel network in the US, so not everyone may have heard about you, and I think it's the same for us. And sometimes you just have to work harder, right, to get that awareness out there. And I think for us, it's the same, right? It's just everyone knows the biggest companies because they're the biggest companies. Doesn't always mean that those are the best fit for you. And I think that's very important for agents, especially the ones that are newer in the industry, to just kind of keep that in mind, right? It's like, ultimately you have to look for who's the best fit, because agents would do the same with their clients, right? The client can go to whatever the biggest companies are in the US, but as an advisor, you also want to give them that personal attention. You want to make sure that they find you because you are the right fit for them. And I think ultimately that's a very important part.
Yeah. I think looking for the right fit. I think that's extremely important.
And not every company is perfect, right? And I always say, I'm like, guys, we're not perfect in everything we do either, right? But there's other components to it, right? And I think that's not one company is going to give every agent everything they want. It doesn't exist, right? And that's why it is about, finding what matters to you, and there's some pros and cons with every company we deal with. So,
No, that's right fit. So we've got so many videos of experiences. Can we, producer Evan, can you run some through and you?
When we had some of our team members there, they took some great videos, underwater videos. The coral reef there, as I mentioned, is beautiful. Snorkeling there is outstanding. Actually, had a client of mine that traveled for the first time there with a family of like 12 for a birthday, and they're avid divers. So diving was absolutely phenomenal in Belize. So yeah, whether you want to do swimming with the sharks, or just enjoy an amazing dive site, Belize certainly has that.
Don't we have a beautiful beach from the Maldives? I think it's from the
Oh yes,
Maldives. Can we see
let's
that?
talk about the Maldives.
Yeah, look
Yeah,
at
you can
that.
say palm trees,
And that's
white
my
sand,
video. So yes,
beautiful
guys, I
water.
was there.
That's
Oh, here it
gorgeous.
is.
Look at that. The water is just gorgeous, but
Yeah. And so we do
everything.
sell that as a new destination as well, right? But we limited the products that we offer. We do sell the Riu in Maldives, and we sell Baglioni, which is part of Palace
Yeah,
Resorts.
yeah, yeah.
But this is when I stayed at Riu last year, and it really was fantastic. I mean, I have to say, it was an amazing experience.
Did you
Yeah.
stay in one of those over water?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
I did. Sure did. Yeah.
I
So,
I
and we
have
have some
not.
pictures of that as well, so we could share those too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If we've got the
Yeah, this was my swim up. There you go. I just jumped right off of it and was in
look at
just
that.
amazing water.
You know what? If you were say you were working while you were
Oh, I was
traveling,
working when I
yeah,
was there.
I'm,
Yeah,
yeah,
of
but I'm
course.
like,
Yeah.
sorry, my lighting on my camera is not that great because the sun is setting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Uh-huh.
gorgeous. Look at
Yeah,
that
look
at
at the
night.
evening. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
So there
Oh,
you
there you
are.
go. This is the little plane that you're on if you fly to your hotel, because that's how it works in the Maldives, right? It's don't be scared of the small planes. It's a fun experience. You see all the beautiful little islands as you fly over it. Yeah, but then when you get there, it's quite an amazing experience. And I think what's so important to share that, all right? And because yeah, there you go, your little airplane is what I do as well is because we have 50,000 agents in our Facebook group, right?
Mhm.
Even if it's a destination we don't sell, right? But of course, the Maldives now we do sell. Agents love it when I share my personal travel experiences,
Yeah.
right? Because it is such a great way to share. And I think when it comes to the Maldives, and I try to keep on emphasizing that, is that in most cases, clients and agents would always think that it is beyond their client's budget,
Right.
right? It's like, oh, I want to go to the Maldives. Well, no, you don't have $15,000 a person. And that's very common. But so what's really important to know, when I post quite a bit about that, and we're going to continue to promote that, is that even a vacation like the Maldives actually is affordable. Because do you know that you can actually spend a 10-night vacation, including some pre and post stays, because you have to connect to the Maldives, right? Whether it's from Dubai or from Doha, with flights from the US, some stays pre and post in Dubai or Doha, and 7 nights at Riu, all inclusive, is not more than $3,500 to $4,000 a person.
Wow.
And we sometimes forget that, right? And you can get an overwater bungalow for 5 nights for $2,500 per person, just the hotel stay, right? And it's all inclusive, overwater bungalow. People spend that and way more on a Caribbean and Mexico vacation.
Oh yeah.
So, we all know that, right? Or a nice cabin on a cruise. So I think it's also important to share that information. And I use our platform also to educate agents and say, guys, use this, right? This is a great opportunity. And that's why it's very important for me to just share my personal pictures and travel. So even if we don't sell it, I think it's still very important for agents to know.
Oh yeah. No, I think just being in the travel. So Curtis is like, oh my gosh, it looks so pretty. I need to go. LOL.
Yes.
Yes.
You
You
do
need to
need to
go,
go.
Curtis,
And sell it.
and sell it. But being in the travel industry, you have to be, or you don't have to be, but sharing those experiences, you never know who's going to be inspired by what you share. So as an advisor, sharing where you've gone, where you've been
Yeah.
to, and tuning into other people, just like you, sharing it. Like you could be the person that just got Curtis to start selling
Exactly.
Maldives
Yeah.
just because you opened the door. You said, "Here's the Maldives.
Right.
It's gorgeous, and you need to be here."
Well, and that's also, again, going back to our Facebook group, is why we added, so we have, ask, learn, share, and grow as really our 4 pillars. Ask, learn, share, grow. And so the sharing part is about agents sharing their experiences. And through one of our programs, agents can earn free night stays for themselves and get to experience one of our destinations, really at no charge, right? And agents use that to create content, right? It's no different from what I did for the Maldives and shared great pictures. And so having those opportunities for agents to to experience and to share and use our platform as well, and of course their own to generate sales is very important for them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're sharing personal experiences there on the
Yes.
plane.
Yes. On the plane.
So I would like to experience some of the destinations. How do I do that when I'm plugged into Vacation Express?
You mean as far as educational?
Yeah,
part of it?
educational.
Yeah. Well, we have a very, very, very good travel agent portal, right?
Mhm.
And that's once agents log in, they have access to the travel agent portal. And there's really all the tools that you need, whether it's training about our systems, destination information, webinars, right? I mean, not every agent can go to every hotel in person,
Right.
right? As much as they would want to. But, you know, just being able to access all the webinar content. And when you're a newer advisor, but even for those that have been in the business a long time, there's always something to learn. So, you know, you can access the webinars, the training at your own pace. You can do it in the evening when you're at home. Say, hey, I want to learn more about this particular hotel, or I want to learn some other aspects of Vacation Express, whether it's our groups or how to use and earn the free stays that we just talked about. So yes, the travel agent portal is really a fantastic source. You know, we host the webinars, of course, but agents also have to invest that time, right?
Yep.
And become educated. And that's really what every new job we have, everything we want to learn, we have to put in our own time as well.
Yeah, and the content's there, and if you want it bad enough, you will, instead of streaming the latest episodes on Netflix or HBO Max, right? You will plug in to that, have it running in the background, just constantly be surrounded by that information. That's not just saying, oh, that, you know, that would be nice if you did it. I have witnessed people who force themselves. They would like record the audio from a webinar and put it on their phone so they could listen to it in the car while they're driving everywhere, because they just wanted to get the information so it can become second nature. Because like you said, not everybody can experience everything. And sometimes these the brand trainings are going to give you the words to tell the story the way that company has said. Okay, this makes sense. This works with clients. So get the education.
Yep, always need that.
In this industry, you're going to do a lot of education.
Yes.
It just never stops. So let's talk about group travel.
Yes.
Okay, Velma, I heard you. You wanted us to get to group travel. This is something that not only there she goes, Velma, looking forward to this. This is something that is another point of difference for Vacation Express. The focus on groups, you make it easy. Groups have little nuances, right? And you have a team of people that ensure things are moving along in the right direction. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, again, just going back to how the industry changed a bit, right? As I said, you know, after the pandemic, it kind of seemed that people realized that if you're socially isolated, as we were during the pandemic, all of a sudden we found that people wanted to travel in groups, social groups, fun groups, family reunions. So the demand for group travel increased a lot. You know, at the same time, a lot of new people came to the industry. So you're having a little bit of both sides, right? More people are interested in it, newer people in the industry, and that means there's a lot more training and education that is needed. So again, I think what we did really well as a company is say, hey, how do we assist these newer agents or people in general that are not familiar with group travel? And that's where I feel we set up really great programs along the way to have great training modules on our website, because sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, I have 20 people, right? Which is a small group, right? I mean, 100 people is a bigger group. How do we do that? And how do we get started? And how am I not afraid to handle that? Because, you know, it can get complicated. So, you know, I think a lot of the things we do really well is, of course, you know, we have all the online training, but before someone, let's say, if they want to commit to a contracted group where you actually sign a contract, you now have a financial obligation. You know, we make sure that our group sales team actually set up a 30-minute call with you. You know, it's mandatory, where we really go over all the details again, just in a 30-minute call. Do you understand that you are signing this, right? You are responsible. So we have implemented a lot of different things to make sure that almost an agent cannot go wrong. Before you have your final payment due date or any payment due date, we send you reminders. Don't forget about it. In 7 days, this is due. In 10 days, this is due. So again, we're trying to hold everyone's hands as much as we can. Having different programs, we have 2 different types of groups programs, but really just make sure that we have adapted as a company to really where agents are. And it goes back to what you said earlier. We meet the agent where the agent is, right? Because some agents are specialized in group business. They've been doing this for 15, 20 years. They know exactly all the ins and outs. So we meet them at their level. Hey, this is what you need. And then if the agent is newer, we really want to make sure that they fully understand what they're getting into. We give them the different options. Do you want a contract, or as we call an express group, which you have no obligation? But we really have a great teams, and it's really 2 teams, right? We have the sales team that will really make sure that you pick the right hotel, what it is that you were looking for. We walk you through the process. We have that 30-minute call, and then you go to our operations team, and they're all specialized in groups operations, processing the payments, any deviations that you have. So yes, I feel we have it set up quite well. Our group business has grown tremendously. But again, it goes back to education as well. Agents need to educate themselves, because sometimes we get in a messy situation, and yeah, sometimes we're agents like, listen, you knew this is what was going to happen. So taking yourself seriously, your business seriously and professionally, and just really following the guidelines that we give you, then your group business can be very successful and profitable, right? I mean, that's a good business.
It is a good business. And I'd love to, do you have any, I guess, success stories or instances where you saw an agent really do well in building a group's business? Like
there's a lot of them. And I'm actually surprised that for agents that were newer in the business, they were, I think they took it very seriously as a great opportunity, right? To earn additional money. And when they're kind of trained in the mindset that, guys, okay, if you move 2 people, well, your commission check is $150. Now, if you get a group of 40 people or 50 people, you can make $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. And their focus was really on that. And, I meet a lot of agents, along the way, and to listen to their success stories and say, hey, yes, I did, just a honeymoon for a friend of mine. And then a year later, they came back and like, oh, I want to, get 100 family members together. And they were able to do that and have that confidence to do that. And there's a lot of success stories. I mean, it's really when you, again, see in our Facebook group where someone says, oh my gosh, I did my first group and it was 100 people. I'm just like, wow, congratulations, it's fantastic. And yes, a lot of great success stories. Yeah. And there's people who do hotel buyouts, 300, 400 people or 300 rooms and have huge events. And they're very specialized in that, but they all started somewhere, right? So the sky really is the limit.
Yeah. And some of the, when talking about your group team, the sales team and your operations team, guys, if you haven't explored groups, you do need all of the, you need the village behind you and you will feel better about it. And you want to lean on their experience. But some people will work directly with a hotel, and you're kind of the luck of the draw with the hotel and the team to support you. And obviously they're trying to sell their specific product. But what I want to highlight is the fact that your team is working with multiple brands, and they've experienced many different things, also experienced where maybe advisors have gotten tripped up in the past. So looking out for those pitfalls. I think that's really important.
It's very important.
And it's something that, again, you don't think you need it until
you need it.
Yeah, until you need it. So I'm just saying, hey, this is a good aspect of their business. Jeff said that communication is very appreciated when it comes to group business. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. And I think you hit on a very good point, right? Because we never think we need insurance until we need it.
Oh.
Right? That's another thing, right? But so agents that were in the business a bit longer, I think the pandemic showed all of them that if you don't have the support of your partner, your tour operator in this case, they could have never figured it out on their own.
Right.
And the truth is, if there was no reason for me to exist, then I wouldn't be here. And why do I have hundreds of people in all my support departments? Because ultimately we're supporting travel agents and their travel. So if that wasn't necessary, it wouldn't be there. And
Mhm.
yeah, you're right. Sometimes, of course, it's normal for hotels to say, hey, you know what, book this direct with us, right? Whether it's individual people or group business,
Mhm.
that's their goal and that's what they have to do. But it doesn't make it easier because ultimately, we have all these teams in place that help you, right? And
Mm.
it's not costing you anything extra, right? So I think that's the other
That's a
part.
good point.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like you're having all this support and you're not paying extra. Maybe we should charge extra for it, but
Stop. No, that's not where we're
but
going.
we are providing all that support, backup. If there's issues, we call the hotel. And so I think that is so important to do that because you need that support,
Yeah.
right? And that is important in this industry. And sometimes people are confused, say, well, what do you really do as a company? Well, there's a lot that we do. That's why we got hundreds and hundreds and
Yeah.
hundreds of people who work for us. But ultimately, it's to make the job of a travel advisor easier, right? Or any client.
Yeah. And by you succeeding, then oops, sorry. Kai, hi from Georgia. Your Facebook support team is top notch. So impressive. And honestly, a reason I go to you guys first.
Thank you.
Wow. Again, the Facebook group. Sorry, I got distracted there. These are great comments, guys. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. But I was going to say when I've heard so many people tell their stories about, say, the first groups or the groups that they had problems with,
Yeah.
and the calling directly to the hotel or calling on behalf, knowing who to contact, all of
Right.
those things. When you need it is when you know you need it, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
so I think that's something that if you've got a group that you're kind of working on or about to be working on, let's engage with Vacation Express. Their team is there. They want to help you succeed.
For sure.
It's mutually beneficial. If you succeed, they succeed. So it's something I love that you have put the support
Thank
in
you. Yeah.
place
Yeah.
for so many things, but in particular
Yeah,
in
for
groups.
groups. Yeah,
And
thank you.
and Velma, who runs our groups program, I know she's like, yes, a big amen to all of that, right? I'm sure she's
Well, we'll
gonna.
set up a separate meeting for Velma. Make
Oh.
sure she knows all the ins and outs.
Oh, believe me, Velma knows all the ins and outs, but she's a big supporter. So manifesting groups for my business, Curtis just said, with some stars and everything. I
okay.
love that. I love
Good.
that.
Thank
Now, thinking about groups business, are there any destinations that are the go-to destinations, or are you seeing more groups happen within the portfolio today?
You know what, again, going back a bit to the earlier conversation, right? Your main destinations are always going to be your top sellers, right? Which is in general Mexico, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, because it's relatively easy to get to, affordable. So that's where most of the business goes. But again, having met so many agents, it's great to see that agents have built their own communities, right? Their own social groups all over the world. Right. Just another example, I added the Rio hotels in Zanzibar. Why? Because agents were telling me they were doing groups to Zanzibar off the coast of Africa. I'm like, what? Really? And so we added that, as well. Or Dubai, right? We added Dubai as well, the Rio in Dubai. So it's great to see that agents are also becoming a little bit how would I say it, like the really the influencer in their community or their social groups to say, guys, on your own, you probably don't want to go to Zanzibar, but guess what? I've put this group together. I make all the arrangements for you. We do all these fun things. And then all of a sudden they get 75 or 100 people go there. So it's really a fun thing. And it also shows why travel advisors in a way have made a great comeback because, to be honest, again, I've been doing this well more than 35 years. 15 years ago, we're all wondering where this industry was going because travel advisors didn't exist anymore or very little. It wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't cool to do. And then everything with social media and the way things changed, now all of a sudden it was cool to be a travel advisor and to share all these great pictures. And at the same time, that created these opportunities for people to say, listen, I am going to organize this. And you as a family member or my church group or whatever it is, I'm going to make your dream come true. And I think that's been such a great development where so many agents have taken that and they take groups all over the world. And again, for our destinations, it's more the main ones, but we do group travel to all of our destinations.
I love that you brought that up because I think so many people don't realize the power in building groups like that to explore someplace different. Like I may not go to Zanzibar by myself, right? But if you say you've got a group of people, it's a small group of friends, right? Just a small group of friends. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll do it with you. I think there's more people that would join a group than you would think. But what I've seen people very successful with this is, just making it part of the conversation. Like, oh, I'm putting together a trip to Zanzibar in the spring, right? And they're like, oh, Zanzibar, tell me about it. And they've got some little bits, and then, oh, just go over to my landing page. I've got that has all this information, or go to my Facebook page. And it becomes like the topic, the conversation topic for that period of time, and people just start coming. It just starts growing from there, and then they tell their friends, and then their friends want to come too. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, and I think travel advisors, again, they have to, and you see it with anyone who advertises, right? You have to give someone something they're going to remember. Right? And there's only so many times that you can say, oh, I have this great vacation, 3 nights, $4.99. First of all, it doesn't put money in your pocket, but it is something that you need to change up the way you promote yourself. And the same for our company, right? It's no different, right? If I feed the same content all the time, it gets boring and static. And travel advisors as well, you got to change it up. So maybe not everyone wants to go to the Maldives or show those beautiful pictures, but maybe it makes the phone ring and someone says, oh my gosh, it looks very exciting and tell me about it. Now, I may end up selling them something else, but you got to make the phone ring, right? You're going to have to, get that initial contact and have people be interested in what you're offering.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Like you can share the photos, the video of the Maldives. That's going to hook them.
Exactly. Yeah.
That might not be the destination, but they think about you for travel. It sparks. They're going to DM you and say, "Oh my gosh, maybe not the Maldives, but I really would like to go to Jamaica."
Well, you have to post a dream.
Exactly.
Right?
Post
Whatever
the dream
may be. It could be a beautiful beach. It could be something people think they can never attain. You have to post the dream, which is different for everyone, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a $1,000 dream and there's a $20,000 dream, but there's a dream for everyone.
Absolutely. And I always share an experience I had where I didn't realize people were paying attention to what I was posting on social media.
Right.
Until, in a roundabout way, I found out that my Aunt Debbie she doesn't comment. Right. But then she became an evangelist, and she was telling a story that wasn't the story. She just saw the photos. So I tell that story a lot because you might not have a lot of followers. You might not have a lot of engagement, but don't stop yourself from showing some of these dreams that you were talking about, the ideas, because you never know the seed that's being planted with somebody. It might not make the phone ring in that moment.
Exactly.
6 months down the road, somebody's like, oh gosh, I loved all those beaches you were posting. I need a beach vacation, right?
Well, and I get that a lot, right? Especially when I post my personal travel. And like I said, when I went to Oman, I posted a lot because it was great. And sometimes like a year later, I meet a travel agent. It's like, oh my gosh, I saw those pictures of you and whatever you did, that was so exciting. So it could be a year later, right, that you get that feedback, and you never know what someone sees or what they don't see or read. But it's just part of what we have to do.
Yeah, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Yes,
it's a long game.
It
so
is. Yes.
and I don't think anybody is in here for a moment. They're in here for. I feel like
career,
travel becomes your life. I didn't come from travel, but I know I'm not leaving travel. That's I got that pretty.
I've always been in it, and I'm not leaving it either.
Yeah,
so.
You're there. So I want to make sure that we talk about President's Club.
Yes.
So what is President's Club?
Yeah, so with Vacation Express, we, of course, appreciate everyone and everyone's business, but there's always some that are a little bit higher than others, like your status with an airline. So we kind of have the same, and probably like 25 years ago, we developed this. And so the President's Club really is to recognize individual agents that produce a certain level in a different way, just as a thank you, right? And again, compare it to an airline status. If you're gold with an airline, you get a bit more than if you're bronze or nothing. And so with Vacation Express, it's the same. So we create a relatively easy level to attain with 150 passengers traveling in the year, which may seem like a lot for people that are just out starting, but people that have been doing this for a while, it's not such a big deal. And so once you reach that level, you have access to various benefits. It is a special line to our contact center with a little bit more experienced agents. Other benefits that come with it. One of them is being invited to one of our retreats, which is really our way to say thank you to agents. We invite them on a wonderful trip once a year, the one you were on in Jamaica as well. And it's a great way to connect with agents one-on-one, to say thank you for your business. We have fun, right? That's the other part. As a company,
I saw fun.
We
saw
have
a
fun,
lot of
right?
fun.
I mean, we work hard, but at the same time, come on, we got to enjoy life. And so, yeah, the Presence Club, it's something we want agents to really set as a goal. And sometimes you have maybe the choice, say, hey, I can book it with this company or that company for whatever reason. But if you focus on one company and you become something and someone to that one company, then you know what, maybe there was a few dollar difference here and there with another company. It wasn't worth it in the end. So yes, Presence Club, I think it's a fantastic goal to set for agents. It comes with great benefits, and it's compared to other companies, ours is fairly attainable.
Yeah. No, the working with you guys, there's lots of perks, benefits, from the community to the education to the club, right? And getting that recognition, but lots of opportunities to grow your business. And I want to thank you for being here, but I also want to thank you and your team, because they have been fabulous for our network for years and years. And now we get to work with Jonathan. He is absolutely lovely, and helping our advisors build their business and grow their business to where they want it to be. I love that. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you guys. We certainly appreciate the partnership, and let's keep it growing and let's keep on having fun, right? Because we got to combine the two.
Yeah, I love. We do. We get stressed out, right? We're not where we want to be. We're not selling what we need to we're not selling enough. I've got so many things so many ideas kicking around in my brain, and all of a sudden, and you are the ambassador for travel within your network of influence, right? So if you're not having fun, guess what?
Your clients aren't either.
Yeah, they're not having fun either. So,
well, you got to pretend you're having fun, right? So
yeah. So let's take a moment and celebrate the fact that we get to work in a joyful industry. Like you said, it's complex, right?
It's very complex.
It's complex.
It's fun but complex.
It's fun but complex. So we got.
And I would say stay tuned for a big announcement we have coming up in 2 weeks. So I just want to make sure everyone stay tuned in our Facebook group. You heard it here first. Yes.
Kai said, I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much. There's a lot of love. We were talking about so much, but there's a lot of love from our live audience.
Thank you.
Lauren, thank you for joining us here. And if you guys want to watch this on demand, it's going to be on WorldVia Pro. It's also going to be on YouTube. So please tune in. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please make sure you do. Oh, I beat you to it, Evan. I said it first. But you can watch this, and you can watch loads of other content. Please join me on Saturdays for our travel marketeering live sessions. It's about 90 minutes of travel marketeering talk, Rene. It's a lot of marketing talk. But I do love it. I'd love for you to join me live then. Okay. Again, I'd like to thank Rene. Thank you again for being here. And I'm sure you and your team will come back and visit us in the Sequin Palace again. Yeah? It's beautiful. I love it. I'll come back anytime. No worries. I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us live. Stay tuned for more events in WorldVia Pro on the calendar. You can find out everything that's happening in the days and the weeks and the months to come. Until next time, take care of yourself so we can take care of each other. See you real soon. Bye now.